Ladies and gentlemen, today is December 9th, 2013. And this is the KNKL Show, episode 134, I think. If not, then we're rolling with 134 and I'll just change the title later. Whatever. Today we are going to be jumping into our beloved comic. And I'm going to be showing you guys the remainder of the time-lapse that went into making these things right here. Emma holiday gift cards, right? And speaking of that, we have some very lucky winners to select from the Facebook contest, the Share and Win. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. And I totally just messed that thing up. Ah, shoot. Okay, so while I reload that page, let me go ahead and distract you by talking about what happened today. It is snowing now in beautiful Utah. I was about to say sunny. It's not very sunny here anymore. It is very white, but it is beautiful. We set up the Christmas tree. Lots of good things happening. And we're good to go. Alright, so let's go ahead and get back to this. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to shuffle, basically much like this. These are all of the people who shared this. And I'm going to just stop on a random name, and I'm going to select whoever is most prominent. Alright, so here we go. Winner 1 will be Denny Mac. Denny Mac is number 1. Denny Mac, and I know that Roman, you were there too, but I looked at Denny's handsome face first. All right, let us go ahead and get started. Next person to win is Carlos Cubero. Carlos Cubero. Carlos Cubero is the second winner, and the final winner is Tatiano Munoz Uresti. Alrighty, people, so those are the lucky winners. I'm going to be posting in the chat. I'm going to be posting in the comments the winners there. Winners, please submit a private message to me through the Emma Comic Online thing, or the Emma Comic Online Facebook, just giving me your name and address so I can send these lovely cards to you. Free of charge. Because you guys are awesome and I love you guys. Alright, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the time lapse. Let's get into the time lapse, or the remainder of the time lapse that went into making the thing. Alright, let's go ahead and get into this. Alright. So what we're going to be doing is we're just picking up from the masks. This is where we left off last week, right? And you guys saw me basically make the mask, and I wanted to, I know I released the time-lapse as well, but I wanted to do a separate commentary talking specifically about how I decided to light this scene. And, oh, and one thing I do want to say, if you guys did not win, you know, one of these, but you still want one, you can pick one up very easily on the Emma Comic Online site. They're limited, and after I give away these, I only have a few left. I think I only have like 10 left. So I'll be making an announcement about that after the show. So if you want one, go ahead and head over there and get one. Okay, so back to this. Back to the lighting. Now I've talked to you guys most of the time about lighting with like painting shadow first, painting the shadow color. You'll notice how all the characters are very, very dark at the beginning. And then what I like to do is I actually paint the light onto the character. Whereas the way that I used to do it was I used to paint like the light or the local color, like the normal color that you would see on something, and then I would try to paint in the shadow. But I've noticed that it feels a lot more natural to just paint with a dark color and then add the light to it. It seems like it feels a lot more natural, and you can capture like those subtle changes that happen with the coloration when you paint light as opposed to shadow. So that's what I'm doing here. I just painted all the colors on these characters as if they were in shadow. And I remember I used to look at artists that used to do this, and I was like, that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to, why are they doing that, right? And I was like, I paint shadow on my things. And how naive I was. Okay, so you can see, and the other thing that I like about painting light is you can see it's fairly easy. Especially because we're working with this cartoonish style, and there are like some subtleties happening within the skin and just like the transitions that are happening, you know, around, you know, just the blending of the colors. But overall, it's pretty dang simple. And another thing that I like to do, which you'll notice that I'm doing on Tank's jacket here, is the shadows are like this deep kind of blue, and then as it transitions over to the light side, it transitions from the dark side, becomes a Jedi. It takes on a little bit more of like a grayish, kind of a warmer tonal quality to it. And these are things that I really like to look for and things I really like to put into my art. So you'll see I'll do it on Tank's jacket as well as on Nico's jacket as well. And just in general, I like the idea of doing contrasting shadows where you can see there's all this blue over here. So naturally, all of the shadows on the characters are going to be a very cool color. And then you have this nice warm light coming from the window over here. So it's really fun to have cool shadows and then warm lights. And I think it also adds to the scene and makes it feel just like really cozy. That's what I wanted this to feel like. You see the cold, wintry wasteland outside of the little balcony that they're standing on, and then they're nice and cozy with their hot chocolate sitting on the porch. And then you got, of course, the lovely holiday lights. The lovely holiday lights. Ambient occlusion, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that would be the correct term. Ambient occlusion, cool shadows and warm lights. Yes, I love that you guys actually know what that means. Yes, I still feel like I don't know fully what it means. So some people are asking, where is the balcony located? That's usually a good question. And I love how I say someone, because someone actually named themselves someone, so I'm actually talking about someone. Some people. I'm going to call you some people now. Someone is asking, where is the balcony located? And I originally thought, like, this is the house from the very beginning where Emma finds Buttons. In fact, this might be exactly where Buttons was when Emma found him. But it's just, now it's, all the characters are there. They went back. They're like, you know what? That house was pretty nice. Let's go back. Let's decorate it. Let's have a little bit of festivities going on here. And you can see right there, I was just experimenting with getting ready to add in the steam coming off of the hot chocolate. So yes. XBLGR was wondering why he wasn't getting any more notifications for my live stream. Yes, we did switch over to Twitch, and we might be switching over to another site very soon. One that is specifically for artists, because I know Twitch is, really supposed to be for video games, and sometimes I drop video game characters on here, League of Legends and all that. But I'd really like to, ideally, just join a site that has the capabilities of Twitch, because I love how it has like the links and stuff. You can look down there and you can click like, hey, here's the Emma merch. Like if you want to buy one of the cards, you just click, Emma store, Emma merch. I think that's one of the links down there. But yeah, it's really simple. So I wanted to have things like that, and you couldn't put links on Ustream, and I thought that was really kind of lame. Anyway, that's enough about that. Let's get back to the picture. So as I kind of started to wrap this up, I decided I wanted to have zombies in the background. But originally the way that I drew them was they were going to be really big and kind of close to us. And then I thought, I want it to be a little bit more subtle. And I decided to like break this little, I don't know, this wooden thing that goes there. I don't even know what you call that. The wooden thing that holds up the handrail. I decided to break that. That way it looked a little bit weird and it drew your attention there. And that way you'd look at the Christmas tree and the zombies back there. And I just focused on shapes. Like, look at how easy this is. I'm not focusing on drawing zombies necessarily. I'm just drawing silhouettes and shapes of zombies. And that's really, really fun. Picardo. Yes. Picardo.tv is where we may be going. And people should not be texting me right now. They know better. They know better. Of course, everybody likes to text me and try to get in contact with me as soon as I start the show. Soon, like, whenever, the whole rest of the day, nobody calls me. So, Zero is saying the zombies just wanted some hot chocolate too. Yes, I do believe that is why. That's very selfish of Emma and all of her friends to hoard the chocolate like that. So, yes, little do they know it attracts the zombies. So here I am, just working with shapes, working with, just like, I don't know what this guy's doing. He's like dancing over here, like that zombie. Oh, okay, let's go back. I just thought it looked funny. This guy, he's like doing this. He's like. Busting some sweet, MC Hammer move over there. Or maybe he's running. I don't know. I just thought it looked nice. have some good contrast, have some good shapes going on there. And it's really super small, so again, you really have to be looking for it. I always like pictures like that where you have something that obviously attracts a lot of your attention at first, which in this case will be Emma and the rest of the people behind her. But then there's all these like other little details that you can kind of look around and you can see like little hidden secrets, if you will, Easter eggs. I don't know. Not that the zombies are necessarily Easter eggs, but they're just less noticeable at first. You have to look very closely. And Nico helps to kind of bring a little bit of attention to that because as he is pointing back to them. So I don't know, I really like pictures that tell a story. As much as I love to just draw characters and like some sweet pose or like some, I don't know, really cool lighting on a character and just have it be simple, I really like to do, like when I produce a big picture, I really like it to be something that someone can enjoy for quite a while. Just look at all the details, look at the, the lighting, like maybe the details of the lights being reflected on the roof here, maybe the bloom or just the feeling of the picture, but then also, the story that is involved with it. Like, what is this character looking at? Why is Tank looking at Nico? What's Nico pointing at? And why is Clem back there talking with Jimmy? I thought Jimmy was dead. I don't know if that's Jimmy. That was kind of a joke, but... So that takes us to the very end right here. So let me go ahead and pull this up and we can take a final look through the picture here. So, yeah, like I said, when you first look at this, you're obviously drawn to Emma and Buttons here. And then, you'll take a look at Tank and Nico pointing back to our zombie friends. And then Clem talking with Jimmy. This is prior to his head being caved in by Tank. Maybe he said something mean to Tank. Maybe that's why Tank's not over there, talking with him. Maybe he's in a bad mood. But then I decided that I've been printing on these 5x7 cards, right? So I wanted this to work both for a background, right? So, you take away this little ribbon on the bottom and then it becomes a 16:9 ratio. But I needed to make it a little bit wider for the card format. So because of that, I decided, I was like, I had the idea. I was like, oh, but it'll be like a little ribbon. A little ribbon will go across and maybe it'll say Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas on it or whatever. And luckily I had my good friend Taylor Phillips over here who's really good with design, and he helped me to kind of come up with this little design that would sit right there, and it really made for a nice card in the end. So, alrighty peoples! So with that, I mean, that was only 15 minutes. So I guess what I could do now is, because it is Emma Monday, I guess I could take you in and we could work on the current page. That is going to be released on Wednesday. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Work on that for just a couple minutes, give you a little sneak peek. You guys like that? In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and ask that you guys question catapult anything that you would like to catapult over the castle walls. And I need to get that video back. I need to get that Q&A trebuchet back. That was really good. I like that. Okay. Let's see. Someone is saying, put yourself in all your drawings. There's actually an artist that does that. There's an artist, a lot of artists like to hide themselves in their drawings, and I think that's really cool. But I don't know, I've never been a huge fan of it. I don't like drawing myself. I really don't like drawing myself. Like a couple times that I have, it's just, I don't know, I don't think I'm a very interesting thing to draw. Because I'm looking at myself all day anyway, right? I'm just like staring in the mirror, like, hey, what's up? So why would I want to sit down in front of my computer and draw myself over again? And you guys are staring at me all day, So anyway, that's another conversation for never. Let's go ahead and get into the sneak peek. Sneak peek. Alright, so here we have our distinguished waiter saying, yes, it is good to have you back, gentlemen. The grand hall has been prepared for you, and they're opening the doors, right? Let me make it a little bit more clear on the sketch. So you can see they're opening the doors, and this light is starting to flood through. And then Emma is like, oh my gosh, because she sees what's behind the doors, the grand ball that is behind the door. But then something happens. She's like, huh? Right? And then something else, but I don't want to spoil that. You might have seen the top of it. You might have seen the top of the next part. Oh, shoot. Oh, well, whatever. It's all good. But a little bit of an update, guys. I'm thinking that with the holidays approaching and all that stuff, I mean, I've been busy enough making the Christmas card and doing the comic. I'm actually thinking about taking a little bit of a break until, you know, the new year gets started. And in the meantime, I mean, seeing as much as you guys really liked the cards, as much as you guys loved these things that I made for you guys, I realized that a big part of, you know, just making this comic and like wanting to have like a business side of it, you know, we've got the Patreon thing going on where you can donate per page that I make, and I, you know, I send you guys the sketches and invite you guys to the Google Hangout, which, by the way, last weekend the Google Hangout was freaking awesome. So if you guys want to get in on that, I'm having up to 10 people in on that where they can basically join me and the Emma staff, all the people that make the comic. We're doing a bi-weekly Google Hangout, and you guys are invited to that if you become a $5 patron. So go ahead and consider that. And you can check that out at patreon.com/Emma. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about that plenty of times. But anyway, okay, so the reason why I want to take a little bit of a break until the new year is because I want to make more of these. I want to make more of these cards, and I want to give them away. I want to do more of the share and win. So basically the way that I've been thinking of doing this, let me know how you guys feel, is I'm thinking about making character cards. So it's like one will be of Emma, right? Emma character card. I don't know, it'd be like a trading card or something. You have like her stats over here, like zombie chopping ability, right? And then they have like tank. And then you could have all kinds of different variants of them. And they're all going to be printed on this really cool paper. Like, I really wish that you guys could see how awesome this paper is. You can only see it really when you hold it up, you know, in your own two hands. I'm gonna silence this foam. Silence! But it's like really shimmery. It's really, really shimmery and really beautiful. It has like all these little flecks of, I don't know, it's just really sparkly. It's kind of holographic. So I'm going to be making more cards like this, character cards, variants on those. So it's like Happy Emma, Sad Emma, Pissed Off Emma, or whatever. And I want to start selling those because I think those would be really cool collector's items. I'm going to be giving them away. Each new one that I get, I'm going to be doing a share and win. I'll be giving away, you know, 3, 5, I don't know how many of them. But I'll be just giving them away, and I think that you guys should enjoy that. And I just want to make some more stuff, like, because if anything, if I learned anything by doing this thing and making this, choking on the remnants of my supper, if I learned anything by doing this, it was just that, you know, I want to just do some more promotional art. I want to do some more stuff like this, where it's just the character. It's almost like fan art, if you will. And I just have this feeling that I want to create more things for people to be able to support, right? More product. Because currently the only thing that we have is, you know, some digital issues and our, you know, the collector's poster, right? The limited collector's poster, which is pretty freaking sweet. You guys should check it out. I only got about 20 of those left if you guys want to get one. And there's only 90 of those ever going to be made. And I don't think I'm going to make, like, a lot of people have been asking about, you know, are you going to do issue 2? Are you going to do issue 2 poster? And I really don't think that I am. If I do, it's just going to be like a regular poster. It's not going to be like the high quality golden sticker, signed, numbered, and sketched on the back. It's not going to have all those things because I want issue 1 to be very special, and I want it to be that collector's piece. But anyway, somebody's saying Zero is saying Super Saiyan Emma would be good for a trading card as well. Someone is saying that as well. Bookmarks. Okay. Oh yeah, you guys are sending all these questions and I'm not answering them. I apologize for that. Let me go ahead and take these things in. Okay. How do you create clean line work? Someone is saying. Literally someone. Let me show you. Okay, so the way that I go about doing clean line art is I start it like this. In fact, actually, let me show you. I start it further back than this. I start with this right here. Okay, so look, these are the original sketches of how I want the layout for the comic to go. And look at how just like messy and kind of, I'm working with values and I'm saying, okay, remember, I want to have like light coming from the left side of them, you know, kind of spilling over to the right because it's coming from the doors. And I just kind of draw in expressions and stuff like this really quickly, but it still captures the expression. You see what I'm talking about? See how it still captures the exact emotion that I want the character to be having? Then what I do is I go ahead and I start the layout. This is what I call the layout. And what I'm doing here is I'm now expanding upon this, right? Now I'm drawing the actual picture, or the actual line art that's going to be seen towards the end here. Now, where the heck are the waiter dudes? Okay, they're there. But the way that I go about creating clean line art is, in the comic, I'm actually doing this 3 times. I'm doing this 3 times because it starts, with that early sketch, then I do this. And then what I do is I do line sculpting, basically, where I basically go in and I take the eraser and I create my lines like this. And this is how I did it on the Christmas card. I don't worry too much about everything being super clean like it is in the comic. Like, you'll notice there's still a little bit of, there's a little bit of sketchiness about the lines, but I kind of like that. I like that in the promotional art because it feels more painted. Whereas in the comic, it needs to be super clean and it needs to be, like, really just like well done, right? Like, so, for example, so by the 3rd time that I'm doing this, I'm just going to show you guys this panel. I've actually had a line artist go in, Alicia Watley, who is my line artist, as well as Ozzy Burke. They've both done lines on the comic. But see how everything is just clean, but what's happening is the line artist is just going over it, and it's going over my blue lines, which is what I am working on right here. So basically, the best way to put it is, if you want clean line art, you got to draw it over and over and over again. Either that or just, I don't know, some people are just really good at line art. Some people are just super good at creating clean line art, like, right off the bat, and I don't know how they do it, but it makes me very jealous, and yeah, it makes me kind of sad. It makes me kind of sad too. So anyway, that's the way you do it. I hope that helps someone. I hope that helps and does not discourage you. All right, a couple more questions, and then we're gonna be done. In the meantime, epic outro music. All right. Next question is, looks like I spoiled the fact that Jimmy is dead for 0. I apologize for that. That happened a long time ago. Oh, XBLGR is asking a great question. I'll take this, and then maybe a couple more, because I see some other ones. Okay, XBLGR is asking, hey Keenan, is it worth pursuing concept art as a career? And you might be asking this because I was working as a concept artist for Riot, and then I decided to quit. And you might be thinking, well, if he did it and then he just quit, what's the point of me even trying to get it? And I don't want you guys to take that mentality necessarily, right? I don't want you to think, oh, well, he didn't do it, so why should I even bother with it? Getting a job as an artist, as a professional artist in the field, is a great step, right? It's like a part of the journey. I really think that everybody should do it. And some of you might get to that job and realize, hey, this is awesome. This is all I could ever want. I just love making this. You might be super passionate about whatever project you're working on. You love the people and all that stuff, and you're content with doing that for the rest of your life. But for me, the only reason why Riot didn't work out for me was because I wanted to create something for myself. It wasn't necessarily because the job was bad. I wanted a little bit more freedom. I wanted more freedom, and I couldn't get it there. I couldn't get it to the exact point that I wanted. And I wanted a lot, right? So it's almost unfair to say, hey, you should just let me take this and do whatever I want with it. Because, obviously that's unfair for them to do that, or for me to expect that of them. So the reason why I quit was because I wanted that freedom, and I wanted to create my own project. And now that's what I'm doing. So yes, I really think that everybody should get a career in art if you want to do it professionally. It's an awesome thing. You meet a lot of people. You meet some amazing people. It's a great experience. It's great. You just learn so much. You learn so much. And all the things that I learned while I was working at Riot, those are all going into the comic right now. And if I didn't work there, the comic would not be as good. Okay? That, and it's great exposure. That's the other really awesome thing about working in the industry, is you get your name out there. People start to find out who you are. So it's always a really good thing to do that. All right, let's see. Simon from chat is asking, what's your process for making a 16:9 ratio? Basically, all I do is I open up a new Photoshop document right here. I just hit File, New, and then all I'm doing is working 16 inches by 9 inches. And then I like to work at 300 DPI because that's a really good, it's just a high res really nice. It's a good ratio because say you finish this awesome painting and then, oh, I just love it, right? And you upload it to your DeviantArt, and other people like it too. They can set it as their background, set it as their desktop, and it's really easy. It's already set up for the ratio for most widescreen things. Plixik is asking, did I have a Cintiq, or do I have a Cintiq? I'm not working on a Cintiq here, but I did have one at Riot. I actually don't like it. I actually don't like the Cintiq, and the reason why it is because when I work on it, it's usually like this, and I'm constantly like doing this with my head. I'm constantly kind of like looking down, and it strains my neck. Whereas with the tablet, you know, you have to develop a little bit more hand-eye coordination, but you can sit completely upright, right, with the computer screen straight in front of you, and you can have your hand right down here like this, and you can work with good posture. This is something that's also very important. Anyway, I don't want to blab too much about this stuff. Guys, thank you once again for joining me live on Twitch. Any questions that I did not get to today, I will be sure to keep them in my question log, and we'll answer them at a later date. For now, I am going to bid thee farewell. Thank you once again for participating in the share and win. Super excited to send these guys out. Remember, if your name was chosen, I'm going to post it in the comments. Send me a message on Facebook, and I'll mail these out to you. Alrighty, peoples, you take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow for Tutorial Tuesday. Until then, take care.